Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new horror film, Pig Hill, from writer Jared Burris and director Kevin Lewis. And this film stars Rainey Qualley, Shane West, and Shiloh Fernandez, and focuses on Carrie, who's been fascinated by the local legend of the pig people of Pig Hill, revolting creatures who breed and cause havoc in the area. As the 10th woman goes missing, Carrie can't stop thinking that there could be more to these stories. And I think I appreciate this film that this is a wild, crazy fantasy kind of idea of these big, disgusting pig people that are just ravaging this small town, and that is it a cover-up, or is this some more than what you might expect, or is this supernatural? You have all these things. It has a very intriguing setup. It really pulls into play those small town politics and what will you do to save face for the town and cover-ups and all those kinds of things. It's engaging with. I do feel like the film, it goes for shocks and it goes for twists. Where the film chooses to go feels a little unsatisfying and less impactful. I also feel like the film is really trying to push buttons and shock audiences with some disgusting kind of things that will repulse you, and it feels cheap instead of really going for some real scares and stuff like that. Just like, well, if you do this kind of thing, it'll definitely turn people off. It certainly will. And I just don't feel like the film benefited from going to those certain places. A couple of moments in the film, I do feel like this film does a fine job of trying to set up Carrie as a character we could get behind. She has this budding romance with Andy, who's returned to this town. Qualley and West spend a lot of time together, and you have Carrie's brother, who's played by Shiloh Fernandez, who's honestly not a great character, and where this character goes is potentially more interesting than who this character is personality-wise. And every time the brother character gets incorporated into things, it kind of makes the film less interesting. But I feel like this film hits on a decent amount of things that you want to check off. It does have some really demented, twisted, crazy moments for sure. There's a birthing scene that I won't unsee. And I feel like Lewis finds some interesting ways to deliver some unnerving imagery, but also some interesting visual motifs into the film as well that gives it a little bit of flair. But at the end of this film, this cast, it doesn't feel like they brought a whole lot to these characters. I feel like there's a lot left that could have been here and added some depth and intrigue to the film. It feels like a lot of these characters feel a little flat and feel like they're kind of just going through the motions, and a lot's left on the table. And then you get to where this film is going, and it doesn't exactly feel the most satisfying when you finally get to that conclusion to all of this stuff. It just kind of feels like there's more interesting ways you could have gone with this, and you sacrifice more potential that you had to try to shock the audience, and that shock doesn't always work out, and this one feels a little flat. But at the end of the day, this certainly has its horror elements that will grab a section of the audience's attention, but it feels more like missed potential and poor execution than it does something that's really disturbing and that's going to sit with you long after. But those are my thoughts on Pig Hill. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.